this man, Kevin Stefanski, was it like 11 quarterbacks over the last 4 years?
Right.
Was it something like that?
Right.
I mean, you talk about 13 quarterbacks since 2020. Damn, you can't find somebody that works.
Right.
Can't find somebody?
Right.
Somebody? I mean, Baker Mayfield looks pretty damn good without you. Okay? Yeah. You know, you see other quarterbacks, they're looking relatively decent without you. And you're looking at Kevin Stefanski, a two-time coach of the year. What's the problem? And then I'm looking at here, Shedeur Sanders, all right? So we got to look at him because we can't let him off the hook.
Most people get this wrong. Here's why everyone suddenly stopped mid-scroll when Stephen A. Smith and Mel Kiper Jr. opened their mouths about Shedeur Sanders and Kevin Stefanski. What they hinted at flipped the script, rattled fans, and left one big question hanging. Trust me, this take is not what you think.
Wouldn't an organization, if they're like, Shedeur fans really want to see him play, I guess we have to. Haven't you already lost the freaking plot? I think he's assuming that that's happened with other teams.
Okay, but
like Tebow in Denver.
But in this version of the Browns, where have they ever been influenced? Like, again, maybe this would happen for the future coach. Okay, maybe it would. We don't even know who that guy is yet. But the one thing I've given Stefanski credit for, he's been very, very wrong in his assessment, but the one thing I've given him credit for is the idea that he has not buckled under any pressure of the Shedeur Sanders.
Cleveland finally thought it had peace. Just a little peace. Then Stephen A. Smith and Mel Kiper Jr. showed up like two uninvited relatives at Thanksgiving, flipped the table, and asked the most dangerous question imaginable in Browns history. What if the quarterback isn't the problem? Shedeur Sanders arrives in Cleveland and immediately becomes the main character in a long-running franchise horror movie. Sometimes he looks calm, accurate, and oddly composed for someone playing behind protection that feels more like a suggestion.
Obviously, you guys know I have been like, just fire these yahoos, get them out of here. I'm sick of watching this dysfunction on the field every week. But now that Shedeur's in there, and you mentioned, he could be the only one to save Kevin's job. I don't think you're wrong, because if we continue to see development and improvement from Shedeur and the offense continues to look a little bit more competent, the best bet for him to keep that starting position at quarterback is to have the consistency of the regime that drafted him and made him the starter.
Other times, the offense stalls so badly it feels like everyone forgot the playbook at home. Naturally, the panic button gets smashed. Again, because in Cleveland, patience is considered a luxury item.
He has remained staunch in his belief that Dillon Gabriel was better than Shedeur Sanders. And throughout this whole entire process, whether it's Andrew Berry, whether it's Kevin Stefanski, first off, they never buckled to the idea that they have to give him first team reps. That never happened. And then they never pushed him up the lineup in order to get him to start this season based off of fan pressure. Dillon Gabriel got concussed. Like, what are we talking about? He was third out of the gate. There was no fan pressure that they caved to.
But then Stephen A. Smith does something illegal in Brown's discourse. He zooms out, way out. Suddenly, Shedeur isn't standing alone under the spotlight. Kevin Stefanski is right there with him, holding a clipboard and a very suspicious resume. A resume that includes an entire parade of quarterbacks entering the building full of hope and leaving looking like they just survived a haunted house.
He failed, but you know what the problem with that is? It's okay. I've been to take the name off the back of his jersey person since he got drafted. I'm not grading his name, I'm grading the player. I don't care where we feel like he should have got drafted. Oh, he should have been a first-round pick. He wasn't. He's a fifth-round pick. Stamp it. He's a fifth-round pick. He failed against a defense who's been taking the ball away from everybody. So what? He had a bad day at the office. It's the NFL.
Yeah.
What is he going to do moving forward? That's what I'm concerned about. Forget the fact that he played bad yesterday. He's a fifth-round rookie.
The numbers don't whisper, they scream. 13 quarterbacks since 2020. Different styles, different personalities, different skill sets, same ending. At some point, blaming the quarterback starts to feel like blaming the smoke alarm for the fire. If no one thrives, no one stabilizes, and everyone mysteriously improves elsewhere, the common denominator starts wearing a headset.
I don't get the impression the Browns are truly upset that this is how this has all gone down.
What do you mean?
Well, first off, this has given them life at the end of the season and interest in the end of the season in a season where they weren't supposed to have interest. So that's like a green check mark to begin with anyway. But Jimmy Haslam loves attention. He loves the idea that people talk about this team. Like, he's given them all that. Like, this is gone. If you're Jimmy Haslam, I would have to imagine this has gone about as well as you could have possibly imagined.
Now, yes, Shedeur's stat line isn't exactly being framed for the Hall of Fame yet. The offense struggles to score, completions come and go, interceptions show up uninvited, efficiency metrics look like they're trying to hide at the bottom of the spreadsheet. But context matters, because nothing says quarterback development like stepping into a system mid-season behind a shaky line with weapons that may or may not remember how hands work on a given Sunday. That's where Mel Kiper Jr. calmly walks into the chaos like the adult in the room.
You're not sitting up here asking me, is Kevin Stefanski falling in love with Shedeur Sanders, because evidence show that he don't want Shedeur Sanders
So why make this decision?
You are forced to make this decision. He has given you the best opportunity to win football games, and I don't give a daggone about draft picks. It's about evaluating the talent that you have at your disposal at this point in time. You don't even know if you're going to be there.
While everyone else is arguing over box scores, he's watching how Shedeur actually moves. The pocket awareness, the subtle escapes, the ability to reset and still deliver accurately. The arm strength people doubted, suddenly showing up like it was late to the meeting, but brought receipts. Even a little rushing touchdown sneaks into the conversation just to remind everyone this isn't a statue back there. And then reality sets in.
It's going to be really hard for these guys, for this regime to walk it back to say, yeah, next year we're going to start Deshaun. Oh, you want to talk about like your jobs will be called for before you ever play a game. So I don't know. Now I'm sort of in that gray area where it's like, what's better for the future of the team? Because I think, obviously, it's only been 3 starts, but I'm very encouraged by what I've seen with Shedeur Sanders, and I expect him to continue to show development and growth over these last 4 games. Do I expect him to do 4 touchdowns and almost 400 yards? No.
The roster isn't broken everywhere, but it's definitely unfinished. Jerry Jeudy has talent, no one disputes that, but talent and consistency aren't always roommates. The tight end room shows promise. The running backs flash versatility and effort, but the offensive line, that's the horror soundtrack. Pressure arrives early, often, and enthusiastically. Any quarterback would struggle. A young one trying to find his rhythm doesn't stand a chance.
The whole 3 wins and everything?
Not that perspective. Obviously, he's mad about that. No, I mean the idea that you took a 5th-round quarterback and he's been able to keep people interested in the team this late in the season. We're usually knee-deep into not only drafting scenarios, everything like that, but we're way off actually talking about this team at this point. When you have a 3-win season, we're still talking about them. The national media talked about a team that the moment Joe Flacco started week 1, they all would have checked out. So there's a part of me that thinks the Browns are getting exactly what they wanted out of this whole ordeal.
This is where the conversation flips from blame to construction. You don't judge a house halfway through the build while the roof is missing and the walls are optional. You finish it. You draft a real #1 receiver, not a hopeful projection, not a maybe if things break right guy. A real one. You reinforce the offensive line with people whose job description includes stopping large, angry men. Radical idea, apparently.
I think the hardest part about assessing him is, the fact that he's going to be running this offense, this lame duck offense for the next 3 weeks, when we don't know what he's going to be running next year.
Right.
It's going to be a completely different roster. I'm assuming that they're going to wipe out the coaching staff. I don't know how they survive this. I mean, Jimmy Haslam said before the season began, the 3 wins is not good enough. It's not acceptable. So they'll probably have a new staff, and Shedeur's going to have to learn a new offense. So for me, I just want to see him like the fundamentals.
And maybe, just maybe, you give Shedeur a full offseason of first-team reps instead of treating him like a substitute teacher filling in for chaos. Let him grow inside a system instead of surviving it. Then, and only then, you evaluate. Because here's the funny part. The Browns might finally have their guy, and the real danger isn't Shedeur failing.
It's your job as a coach to develop players.
No.
And Stephen A. made this point. Why take Shedeur Sanders out in that situation of winning when you're evaluating to see if he's capable? You don't even know if he's capable or not. If I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm putting Shedeur Sanders in the best situations, in the worst situations, in all situations, just so I can see what Shedeur Sanders really gives our team at the quarterback position.
The real danger is Cleveland repeating its favorite tradition, pulling the plug too early, blaming the wrong person, and starting the carousel music all over again. So here's the real question. Are the Browns fixing the system or setting Shedeur up to be the next name on the quarterback carousel? Drop your take in the comments, smash that like button, and subscribe for more Browns chaos you won't hear anywhere else.